Alright guys, we're gonna do something like a full male body from scratch. First, let me just move a little bit. First we start from the body, of course, and the body will be like this. I have some references here. I will look at some other references probably, because without references I don't recommend anybody working without reference. The reason is that without reference you will not learn anything new. You will do it the same way you have done it before, numerous times, and it will not be as good. So working with reference is the main thing always, and always look at your reference, try to understand the forms, try to make them better. That's the idea of the reference anyway. So that's the thing now, referencing and working from a reference. When we do something like this, I can do it with my knowledge and experience and everything. I can do it without reference, without too much issues, but again, my anatomy is not perfect, even if it's better than most, but it's not perfect, and with reference always I will learn a little bit more and I will become a bit of a better artist. So referencing, using references is the key to success. So use them. Don't abuse them. No, abuse them. Don't worry. Abuse the references. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Now, I haven't, done this, streams lately, because Tuesday I have messed up my back. And that's an issue. And my lower back is in pain right now. And it will be for at least like 3 more days, probably. If I have to, if I have to guess, since I have done it already. The most problematic back injury that I had, I mean, I have this all the time. I mean, not all the time, but at least twice a year it happens. And the most problematic one was last year, just the day before we had to go to Turkey to a vacation, and it was a problem because the most painful day is the next day after it happens, and it was the day we had to travel with the plane, with the backpacks and everything. It was not a very pleasant experience, I may say. And then almost the whole time I was in the hotel, I was laying down and only going to eat in the restaurant and walking like a crashed plane. It was just not the best, not the optimal experience, we may say, because usually when it happens, it goes for at least 7 days, at least. So now I know that at least like 3 more days I will be in a bad shape. But it's fine. It's fine because I know that I have this issue. It happens regularly, so it's cool. It's pretty cool, right? Head will be too small, of course it will be. How can we connect different parts after sculpting? Yeah, it's very difficult to connect them, because we have to press Ctrl J when you select them in object mode, and then you have to remesh them, and this particular thing is hard. But I think if you try it, if you imagine it, if you want it so hard, it could happen. So I believe in you. You can do it. Don't worry about anything. I mean, you have to want it, it's about the will, it's about the willpower. It's all about that. So yeah, definitely. Now we start the head. By the way, the head is, since it's one of my favorite parts, I will do it a little bit, just up to one point that it starts to look relatively fine, and then I will leave it and go to the arms, because I want to leave the head for last, since it's my favorite part, so it will be for dessert. I like to do heads mostly. Bodies, not so much. Arms are... and legs. Legs are one of the worst, you know. One of the worst parts of the human body, and not many people like to do legs, because they are kind of irrelevant, not very expressive, we may say, except for women legs, probably, yeah, I would say. But male legs, you know, and that's why I'm a little bit concerned about that. By the way, interestingly, invert mask is not working for me, but let's try it again. Now it's working. Sometimes some things doesn't work. Let me refresh the page. Okay, because it's interestingly enough, my YouTube page, where I see how many people are watching, is not refreshing itself. Probably I have to restart the browser. Sometimes, you know, browsers, they're doing this kind of things. It's normal. So skin texture need add-on brush. Can't we create some? If yes, then please some video make on it. Okay. It's a little bit not very clear what you want to say, but it's okay, because my English is not perfect either. So I'm not saying that your English is the problem, but if you want to be understood, it's good to make it a little bit more clear for me. Maybe I'm the problem, I don't know. But it's better to be clearer. Doesn't matter, it's okay. It could be not clear, but I will just not understand and not be able to answer at all. Which, again, is not a big issue, in my opinion. It's okay. I don't like the nose at all. So, a nose job will be required for our guy. We have to probably watch some references again for the head. But even without it, since I already have worked for 7 minutes and I have something like a head and something like a body, I think we're not in a very bad shape. And this guy's in a good shape, by the way. As you can see, he was training for this video particularly. He was training for a long time and now he is in a good shape. Yes. So don't worry about him. I'm worrying a little bit about me, because these days I'm eating again a lot of sugar, and one of the sugars that I'm eating, I will show you, it's very interesting. They sell those only in Billa, and those are choco balls. There are 200 grams, one package, and I can eat it easily in one sitting. So 200 grams, which is 50% sugar, kind of, yeah, 45% sugar. So it's like 100 grams of sugar in one seating is too much for everybody. So we have to be very careful, but I'm not. So you have to be very careful. I will not be, usually. But you guys don't eat too much sugar. I have a very good genetics, so I'm not super fat. Even with this much sugar, but I don't recommend it to anybody, because even that it doesn't seem like I'm fat or something, my cholesterol is over the roof, and I will probably soon die by something like a stroke or I don't know, but you know, life is overrated. We don't have to be afraid of the afterlife, or dead, for that matter. You know, when you live long enough, like me, almost 4 years, more than 4 years, you learn to, oh, life is a waterfall. Nico has a personal bodybuilders, yeah, of course. Wacom and chocolates. Yes. Do you exercise though? I try to exercise regularly. Usually in the evenings, I do some push-ups and some other things, just casual. But now with my lower back problems, it's near impossible to do something like this. So I'm not doing exercises, but I'm still eating like crazy amounts of sugar, which means that I will be, after this is over, after the back problems are over, I will be a little bit heavier, we may say. Let's say it like this, a little bit heavier. So for the arms, I will show you something. I will draw you something. Let me just pay attention here, because this will be interesting. I promise. Now, from the top, let's see this from the top, by the way. Let's see it kind of from the top. Okay, now, from the top, if we remove the shoulders, we will have something like, wow, this is too thick. No, we will have not something that the way is too thick, but we have the back muscles, and then we have the rib cage, and then we have the back muscles here. So overall, this position here is, as you can see, wider in the back, not so wide in the front. But that doesn't matter. What I mean here is to show you how the arms looks. So as we can see here in the picture, especially when the guy is kind of making his back muscles, like bending them, or not bending them. In this case, he cannot bend the back muscles, but he can, and they push the triceps out, and then the biceps goes in. So the hands, the arms, will look something like this, with the biceps pointing inward. And most of the time when you do this, when the biceps is pointing inward, like we see here, the biceps is pointing inward. It's not pointing at us. This biceps even is pointing also inward. So make sure, because this is a hell of a mistake, when you do a front of an arm, when you do a person, when you do a body, don't do the muscles like this, the biceps here. You see, this is the hand, this is the shoulder. Don't do the biceps pointing forward. It's boring. It has to be like the shoulder, then the triceps a little bit visible, and then the biceps should be kind of visible. A little bit of the triceps even should be visible here, and the biceps should be inward, pointing like this, not pointing at us in this case. So that's a little bit of a deviation from thing. I will try to not explain too much here, but this I wanted to explain. So I will push the biceps to go in, and I will push the triceps out. The idea is to make sure that my biceps is pointing inward. Of course, probably I will move this arm at some point. I'm remeshing now with Control R, but probably I will move it at some point. By the way, I want to say that I released my second absolute beginner Blender course, this time with a rabbit character. You can check it out. I should put it in the description of this video probably. But of course, in the description of this video there are a lot of links, and one of them is my ArtStation store, and the course is there, so obviously. And by the way, now there is a sale on ArtStation, which they don't do that often. In Udemy, sales are, let's say, 3 times a month. They have sales on Udemy. In ArtStation, they have it once every 2 months or something like this. So it's kind of rare. But now they have it. And the courses are a little bit cheaper, all the courses. So it's fine. Yeah, life is a waterfall. We won in the river, we won again after the fall. System of a Down, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. Very good band, by the way. Swimming through the wall, we hear the words, we lose ourselves, but we find it out. Yeah, I cannot sing exactly. My voice is not like this. My voice is more like people say, like Cannibal Corpse stuff, maybe Metallica stuff. Into night, take my hand, We're off to Never Neverland. Say your prayers, little one, don't forget my son, to include everyone. Nah. It's very important to say nah, because otherwise it's not exactly Metallica if you don't say that. Now I will just, you know, you always have to mirror the arms, because otherwise you will not be able to see what you're doing exactly. And now I see that my arms are pretty close to the body. I can move them a little bit outward, and it should be kinda better, or better, if we may say. Say your prayers, little one, don't forget my son, to include everyone. Corvus from Total Self-Hatred. I haven't heard that band. The last band that I've heard and I liked is Mustache. It's called Mustache, and I'm not sure which country are they from, Mustache, but it's hilarious. I mean, they're pretty nice songs they have. It's a metal band, and the guy which is the vocal player is he's with very interesting mustaches. It's an old band, I guess. They're not very young people, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and I like how he screams and his overall expression of his face when he's singing in some of the videos of their songs. It's pretty cool. He's very expressive. Mustache is the name of the band. Yeah, we have to try to listen to some songs here, but it's not gonna happen. And I'm trying to not sing exactly like Metallica, because they will ban the video, most likely. Automatic algorithms will ban the video if I sing too good. You know, so we have to be careful with that. I have to sing not so good. I have to sing bad. Although I cannot. I'm so good in singing, so it's difficult for me, but I'm trying at least. Yeah. They will not demonetize this video. They are not monetized, but they will just straight ban it. They said this video contains copyright materials and it will be banned. Goodbye. So, but what are you talking about? Why are you doing this to me? I loved you. Don't do this to me. Nico, I have a tip for you to grow on YouTube nowadays. Good. You should put out shorts making 3D models. Yeah, but I cannot make them that fast. And my style doesn't include speed-ups. You know, many people are doing this, shorts. I've seen that. Not many, but a lot of channels which are sculpting channels. People who are doing this. But, you know, my thing is always live sculpting. My tutorials are live tutorials. Everything is live in my case. I never speed up. I never do this kind of... Everything is live. And since I'm fast, it's not that boring. It would be boring if I was slow. But since I'm not as slow, it's kind of not as boring. Probably it's not ultra fun, but I'm trying to make it fun by talking about different topics while sculpting, so it's fine. Hello Nico, could you please tell if it's alright if I use existing character in game, company, job portfolio? But of course, and make the sculpt and modeling myself. Existing character for company portfolio. I'm not sure about that. You should ask the legal department, mostly. They will be more into this type of stuff. No, Lars is not that bad of a drummer. I mean, yeah, he's kind of good. I like the drumming. Maybe I don't understand. I'm not a drummer or musician or whatever. But I like overall Metallica songs, especially the old ones. but the new ones are not that bad, I would say. Enter the heat, take my hand. Кажи, стримвам, чао. Какво нямаш кърпа? I had to give my son a towel for the bathroom. Normal stuff, you know, streaming with family is... I don't care, it's okay. It's not gonna distract us that much. So, for example, we will not be able to finish this model in time. No, 2 hours are plenty. We'll be able to do a model in 2 hours. I mean, I've been able to do a anatomy model for 1 hour and a half back in the days, and now I think I'm faster. Although back in the days it was with ZBrush, but it doesn't matter. ZBrush, Blender, it doesn't matter. What matters is the skill. And the skill, ZBrush, Blender, the skill is what matters, not the software. Software is just a tool. Either you use iPhone or Android, doesn't matter. It's a phone. It works like a phone. It should work like a phone. You can browse, you can use it as a photographing tool, like a camera. You can use it as a, you know, for communication, but you can use Android or iPhone the same. It doesn't matter that much. It doesn't matter much. Oh, these legs are amazing, I would say. Yeah, we have to rotate them outward a little bit. And usually, for the feet, I like to put them a little bit more outward like this. Yeah. And that's already started to look kinda okay. Of course, we have a long time. This is only 22 minutes up to this point. So we have plenty of time to make this look better than now. And we'll have to, because he doesn't have an ass. Ass is important, people. Remember, ass is pretty important. We have to do an ass. Without an ass, a guy will look kinda bad. Without an ass, a girl will look even worse. So be careful. Be careful with your sculpts. Make an ass. Always make an ass. You know, that's one of the best advices I have given, by the way. If you go to my courses, most of you probably have some of them. You probably know that I give a lot of advices in the courses. Not only for sculpting, but life advices and stuff like this. But this is one of the best so far. Yeah. So yeah, make asses. It's important. Ass making is a very, very important part of the modeling. If you don't make the ass, but whatever, let's stop talking about the ass. Why are you talking about the ass so much? I don't understand. Are you some kind of ass maniacs? What's happening? Sometimes you have to adapt to modern times. Yes. They'll also ban the video if you're drumming as bad as Lars. Yes. The wife calls, not it was the son. Hey Nico, why I keep seeing your Superhuman Anatomy course advertisement video on Procus Anatomy video? Maybe because your interests are similar to the interests that are for the most of the audience of that video, probably. And YouTube is just, the algorithm is kinda taking you as somebody who probably could be interested in that. But that is just a guess. Most of the time YouTube is just seeing somebody as a possible audience for some channel, and they start to advertise, the YouTube start to advertise this channel to you. But if you don't click in couple of times, for example, on this advertisement, let's say, most probably YouTube will stop advertising this content to you, because the algorithms will probably learn that you are not interested in that kind of things. But that's just a guess. I'm not exactly super sure. Nobody is absolutely sure. Even probably the YouTube creators, there is not one person that knows all about the algorithms. Maybe there are a couple of persons and each one knows a couple of things about that. Maybe if you want to understand more about the YouTube algorithms, you should ask Mr. Beast. He probably knows a lot about them, because maybe more than the creators themselves, because he's pretty good in making videos that make millions. You know. He's good at that. Mr. Beast, one of the most famous YouTubers in the world. Maybe the most famous, I'm not sure. Probably he's the most famous, yeah. Okay, let's agree that he's the most famous and whatever. I don't watch his videos that much, because for me they are not as educational. I cannot learn that much from him, although you can learn how to make a YouTube video successful from him. You can learn it. How to make the beginning of the video, how to make the next parts of the video, how to make overall successful videos. But my videos are not that type. They're not that much for entertainment. They are more educational plus entertainment, especially in this channel. You have to be entertaining in these days in order to be successful as an educator. Otherwise, it will be boring for the people and people will just not watch you. Because boring, usually, is not something that people like, especially these days. Yeah, fast-paced life and stuff, you know. And those shorts and Twitch videos, amazing stuff. But it's all good. Or not. Not sure. Now we have to try to make the arms work. The hands, I mean. But whatever, let's see. Tell us how can you talk to yourself for an hour straight? I mean, you talk to us, but actually to yourself. Yeah, exactly. I'm talking to myself because nobody is answering me. And I'm speaking just to myself. And I can do that because I am... I didn't want to say that, but I'm crazy. That's why. If you're a normal person, you most likely will not be able to do this. But if you're crazy, if you are mad, if you are a psychopath, it's not a big issue. That's why most of the good artists, they are crazy, they are psychos. But of course, the good thing is that most of them are not crazy in the way that they can talk that much. And that's a good thing for me, because I don't have that much competition. And my craziness requires me to talk a lot, which is a good thing. This is illness, as you can see. I'm sick. And that's why I'm able to do this. And that maybe is a little bit of a joke, but is it? Is it? I will leave you wondering. It's not, probably it's not 100% joke. It's like, let's say, 10% joke, and the rest is true. So it's cool. Get to the chopper. Of course. Legs is long, I guess. Yeah, probably they are a little bit long, although the distance between the dick and the ground should be almost the same as from the dick to the top of the head, which in this case is kinda true. But, you know, you cannot judge the proportions very well until you put the fingers even, you know, because the fingers are very, very important part of the hand. Usually people have fingers, that's why it's good to put them on. If you don't put them, it will be a problem. It's the same like not putting ears of the head. You know, fingers are to the hand, like what ears are for the head. It's not true, of course, because fingers are a little bit more important than ears for the hand, I mean, because without fingers, the hand is not really a hand. Without ears, the face is still a face, And even without physical ears, if they cut this, just the physical ear, you will still be able to hear without too much issue. But without fingers, I cannot imagine what happens without fingers. It's not a good thing, probably. So, yeah, let's move on. It's not a question of good. It's not a good thing, we may say. It's not a nice topic of conversation. It's not. It's not the nicest topic of conversation. Now get to the chopper. Get to the chopper and let's go. My accent is not exactly a German accent or Austrian accent like Arnold Schwarzenegger. But I'm trying. I'm trying. It's... yeah. You see that I'm trying, right? So, yeah. Hopefully I have an A for trying, at least. Should be okay. I don't like the legs, by the way, but I probably will not like them for never. I will never like them enough. So, yeah. We'll do them until they are relatively fine, and we'll leave them as they are at some point. Nico, did you like Stranger Things Season 4? By the way, I have tried to watch Stranger Things Season 4. I think it was Season 4. The last season. I didn't like the first episode at all, so I just stopped. It's the same like I tried to watch Squid Games. It didn't work for me. Around the middle of the first episode, I was like, fuck this. This guy is so cringy to watch. He's making this worst life choices. I cannot watch it. But this is just me. I mean, this is my probably... I'm getting old and this is my craziness. And Stranger Things was very boring. The first episode was very boring. Nothing happened. And I just said, screw it. I will not watch it. So yeah. But I have watched the first 3 seasons. And they were fine. I liked them. I liked them. By the way, I have watched... King of Tulsa, I think it was called, with Sylvester Stallone. It's a little bit childish, serious, a little bit childish, but I liked it. It was fun. It was pretty much fun. So I recommend it to people. Don't expect something like brilliant, like Breaking Bad or something. No, but it's fun. It's worth it, I think. And I like to watch Sylvester Stallone. He's barely... you can barely understand what he's talking about, but he's trying at least, and it's visible. It's cool. I like it. It's fine. How do you find a job in 3D as a modeler? It's difficult these days, by the way. It's difficult to find a job, but it will be probably a lot easier than the 2D artists finding a job these days with all the AI and stuff. So, yeah, I'm just saying that probably 3D will be easier to find a job than a 2D. Not sure, but guessing that could be the case. I don't completely approve it, but Nico is a schizo. He has split personalities. I don't think that I'm a schizophrenic or something, as you are implying, my Russian friend. My Russian friend, why are you implying I'm schizophrenic? Because you're a hater, I know. But since I'm a hater too, it's normal. I forgive you, it's not a problem. Personally, ZBrush is easier for me to sculpt because I'm so used to it. But it's insane that you can basically do everything in Blender. Yeah, exactly. Modeling, sculpting, rigging, animation, simulations. Yes, all the things you can do in Blender, and it's a little bit more free than ZBrush. With Maxon making ZBrush more expensive, because nowadays it's cheaper to not buy the software, but subscribe, because they want you to subscribe. That's what they want to do. They want to have subscriptions, but it's normal. It's a big corporation. They want to make money. And that's cool, but that's why Blender is a good alternative. And that's why I'm making courses for Blender. It's not the only reason, of course. I'm making courses for Blender because it's Blender is more famous. Much more people are having interest in Blender because it's more accessible, we may say. It's much cheaper with its price of 0. It's much more cheaper. Much more cheaper. Very good English, Nico. It's amazing English you have these days. You're just the best English guy. I know. I'm so good. Now, how much time has passed? 35 minutes, we don't have fingers. What's happening? Nico, you're getting old. 35 minutes, you should have fingers, nails, everything. No, you don't have. You don't have even pores on the skin for 35 minutes. What are you doing, Nico? Getting old, definitely, yeah. But you know, it will happen at some point, don't worry. No, pores will not happen, definitely will not. But fingers, yeah, we'll make them. It's not a big issue. We should do them a lot. Ooh, this finger is, wow, huge one, but it's not a problem. We will fix it. Relax. Relax. It's not an issue. We will be fixing it in no time at all. The main thing when you're doing fingers is to do one finger kind of nicely, but low polygonal, so you can easily duplicate it and move it in edit mode here in Blender. In ZBrush, doesn't matter, you can do it whatever. But in Blender it's better to be kind of not so many polygons, so you can move it and put it into position better, easier, more convenient, we may say, even. Have you seen the new Street Fighter 6 character models? Zangief as a Datbot. Datbots makes characters looks more interesting. Probably. If they make it. They know what they're doing, probably. I haven't seen, by the way, the Street Fighter 4. Street Fighter 5 was very good, although it's a very old game. I mean, like a couple of years, maybe more than 7 years old is my guess, maybe even more. But it was very nice. Even now, the characters looks very, very nice. Because they are stylized and it's very cool. I like them very much. From the fighting games, I like Tekken also. Not for the models that much, but the fighting I mean, the overall fighting was very cool with all the combos that you can do. And of course, Mortal Kombat 11 is the first really nice looking Mortal Kombat since forever. Since Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate, which was 2D of course, with photographs and stuff. But since then, Mortal Kombat 11 is impressive, very impressive graphics. I like it. If we're talking about fighting games. Nowadays I'm playing Fallout 2 mostly. And Fallout 1 also I played. But those two games are... Am I playing now? Yeah, back to the primitive, you know. Literally back to the primitive. Because especially in Fallout 2 you're starting from a primitive village in the wasteland. And then going to some very, very advanced things at some point. But in the beginning, primitive. Back to the primitive. Fuck all your politics. Yeah, that's definitely what we have to do. Fuck all the politics. Especially the good-looking ones. Politics are shit, you know. They're fucking liars and, you know. I'm not very well positioned into politic people. I don't like them. Because now we will have our, you know, we have elections in Bulgaria for parliament after 1 month we will have again for like last year we had one, this year we'll have one, the year before that we had two, I think. So every year couple of elections, it's just too much, because politicians here are absolute crap. Maybe not the worst, but definitely the worst in the European Union, which is speaking a lot. Yeah, Romanians probably will say, oh no, ours are the worst. No, yours are better. Ours are the worst. Do you have fear of ghosts? Not at all. Do you watch Chernobyl? Oh, Chernobyl was a nice thing, nice series, if we may say. Very nice. Have you? I believe you will be able to still hear without fingers as well. That's a good point, by the way. Yeah, you can get ZBrush for free too, if you know what I mean. Yes, I know what torrents are, and I have used them. But still, you know, if it's free and it's very nice program, why don't you use Blender, you know? But whatever, I don't think that it's ZBrush against Blender or something. They both are... Oh, my lower back is amazing. Oh. They both are good softwares. You can use them, if you can. If you can use them, of course. That's a big if, you know, because not everybody can. You excited for Street Fighter 6? Street Fighter 6? I would be if I see the trailers, probably. I'm more excited for a new Fallout game, Fallout 5, for example, or something, but probably it will be many years ahead. So around 2027, 28, probably, hopefully. Tekken 7 models are terrible, but yeah. New Tekken 8 models is looking really well made. Probably, yeah. Did the Chernobyl tragedy somehow make your parents or you personally worry? I think it's much more interesting to know. Yes, Chernobyl tragedy, since we were in communist times back in when Chernobyl happened, there were a little bit of a information blackout. People didn't know too much about what happened exactly. But yeah, probably some of my DNA is a little bit altered by the Chernobyl stuff, because we are relatively close to Ukraine. My city to the Chernobyl station is no more than 1,000 kilometers, maybe even less than 1,000 kilometers. So with proper winds and stuff, most likely we have some radiation coming our way, and definitely we had some. And I was young back then. I think it was 1986 or 1984. I'm not sure exactly when was that, but I was born already. So when you are born already, it's not a huge issue. For the unborn childs, could be worst, I think. So I don't know. Maybe this is the result of Chernobyl, who knows? Or this one eyebrow, nobody knows. Hey Nico, tell us about your setup. My setup is good. I like it. That's what can I say. I don't know what you mean about setup, you know. I have a tablet, cheap one, very cheap one. The cheapest Wacom tablet, one by Wacom. I have a computer, which is not a laptop, but a desktop computer. And it's good one with 64 gigabytes of RAM and a nice AMD processor. Good one. So, yeah. And my video card is kinda already old, but it was given to me by a guy from South Africa, also an artist, but more like traditional artist. He has Instagram with like 8,000 followers, and he told me he liked my things, and he just gave me a video card. I paid just some taxes for it here in the country, but overall it was kind of free. It was 2080 Super, the video card, and now I'm using it, and it's fine. It's fine for Blender. It's fine for even for some games, probably like Fallout 2, which is a game from 1999, I think. So not so long ago, like a little bit more than 20 years ago. But it's working well. It's working pretty well. So I'm happy. Okay, the legs are a little bit strange from the side view. We need to make them a little bit thicker in the top here. But overall, as we can see, we have spent like 45 minutes into making this, and it's looking fine. So we can continue working a little bit more on it. Like 1 more hour, and it will not be much better in an hour, I can say that. It will be probably the same. So I don't know why should we bother, but yeah, let's do it. It's not a big issue. We can do this, guys. But I'm telling you, it will not be much better in an hour than it's now. So this is the main thing in the beginning, when you're doing something, to make it up to this point, to have a nice silhouette, everything to look relatively well together, and then you have to spend like a couple of million hours to you know, make the details and stuff like this, and it will be ready. It's just easy. That easy. It's just that easy. You know, spend few months fixing things and making details, and you will be good to go in no time. Just few months. That's it. Amazing stuff. Hey, thanks for using me as a reference. No problem, it's okay. Anytime. Do you have any advices for the newbies? I'm stuck doing the tutorials for Blender. Was blown away at first, but then it becomes routine. Greetings from Ukraine, by the way. Yeah. For newbies, I will suggest, if you like sculpting, if you like modeling, just do it more often. Often, whatever. And just, you know, practice more. The more you practice, the better you become. The better you become, the nicer you will feel about sculpting, about doing all these things. And the nicer you feel about it, the more you will do it. So it's about, yeah, it's a closed circle. It's a like avalanche. Once you start and start gathering momentum, if you don't stop for a long time, at some point you will become good. But if you stop and you know, work, family issues, stuff like this, then it will be difficult to start again, and you know, at least that's my observation, mostly. You have to not stop ever. Don't stop believing. Now demonetization, you know, it was too good. I had to do it, you know, worst. Hey, no, they will just ban my video. But whatever, guys. Until they ban it, we're watching live, so we're okay. It's not a problem. I'm living 80 kilometers from Chernobyl. Imagining my DNA, I'm having chronic illnesses that never existed in my family. Exactly, when you're that close, then you have a real issue. I'm 1,000 kilometers, and yeah, I have some of this issues with autoimmune, allergies, this allergy, which my father or nobody in my family has really allergies, but I have some. They are very mild, thankfully, but still I have. Probably because I moved to the big city. Maybe it's because of that. In the big city, you always have some allergies because your immune system, since you bump into many people every day, in the metro, whatever, your immune system is overreacting and it's becoming very, very potent and very strong. And it's starting to, you know, to murder your own body at some point. Which is not optimal, we may say. But, yeah. There are some medicines for that, so it's fine. If it gets worse, for example. Hopefully it doesn't, so it's fine. Should be fine. He has skipped leg day, you say. Yeah, but I don't want to make his legs ultra huge or something. Ah, but probably you're talking about the model here. No, he's a pretty good, I see in a pretty good shape. He's a fitness model, not so much as some kind of a bodybuilder model. But although he's pretty muscular, especially in the top. But since he has shorts, you cannot see how big are his thighs, for example. It's not very obvious. It's not very visible. But they probably are not very small, I would say. Most likely they are not. So he's fine. Don't worry about him. He will be okay. Let's worry about ourselves. And our bellies. And our, you know, especially for the men, the belly is the most problematic space or thing. Yeah, 19 hours of per day of study, maybe even 25 hours per day also will be possible, and you will be good, yeah, in no time. Just, you know, 19 hours every day, like Mr. Guerra said, and you will be like good for 1 year. You will be a monster. But every day, don't miss day, don't miss any day. Every day you have to. Gabriel, have you gone to the gym already and started to lose weight? Tell me about it. We want to hear. We want to know if it's possible to gain so quickly so much skill, but then to lose the weight, because the weight is, let's say, it's inevitable. But then you have to probably lose the weight and still have the skill. So I want to see yourself like this at some point, but with the skill, you know, it will be great. There is something similar to Arnold Schwarzenegger voice in your English accent. Yeah, probably because I'm not a native speaker, English speaker. Most likely that's the case. Most likely that's the case. Get to the chopper now and go. Thank you for the advice. I just couldn't concentrate on what features should I learn. There's too many of them in Blender, like 3D animation, sculpting, environment, building. What are you talking about? You have to decide for yourself what you want to be. If you want to be a generalist artist, yeah, you can learn everything. But for a beginner, learning so many things at once will be overwhelming, and I don't recommend it to anybody. And every guy who is making tutorials about Blender, especially beginner tutorials, is recommending for you to learn one thing at a time. So learn how to sculpt, enjoy it. If you like it, practice it. Learn how to model a little bit. But overall, learning how to animate and how to do a lot of stuff, it's not very good. It will not bring anything nice to the table. It will just make you, you know, drop it at some point, which usually you don't want to do. That's why I suggest you just take it easy. Easy. Rocky Prime is an enhanced human. He never asked for this, but it is what it is. Exactly. Yeah. Hey Nico, what is the Arc Academy? Are you still working there? Yeah, I'm working in Arc Academy. By the way, Arc Academy is an academy in Bulgaria, and also they have, I think in Rome, they have something like a place. But the idea is that we are thinking about making an online course in English for everybody in the world. But we are just in the process of, it will be a live course. I will teach live, and they will be, looking at homeworks and stuff like this. It will be interesting, but we are just thinking about it right now. And I probably will have a promo link to the course if somebody is interested at some point when we have the course. By the way, what is this? Some kind of a bug. Let's see it. Alright, this is a bug, but we can easily fix it. I will show you how. Apply the mirror modifier. Apply the mirror modifier. Join them with Ctrl J. By the way, you cannot see my shortcuts, and people will be very mad about this. They'll say, oh, why don't you put your shortcuts on the screen? What's happening, Nico? Nico, you're cheating, my friend. Yes. And Shift R, Ctrl R, smooth, and it's fixed. And also, I don't want to have both hands. I want to have only one hand. Arm, I mean. That's why I will go to here, L, X, faces, mirror, amazing. Yeah, I just deleted one of the arms and make it a mirror, because I think it's better. Now, maybe the hands are a little bit too big, but the artistic way of making hands, especially on a male, is to make them a little bit bigger than reality. If you make them smaller than reality, it always looks bad. So the right way is to make them a little bit bigger than they really are. And that will be nice. So, that's my advice to all aspiring young artists. Make your hands a little bit bigger than the real ones. Not ultra big, of course. You have to be careful. But a bit bigger, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Okay, we have it. It's looking relatively fine. Let's go to the face, because, as I told you, I enjoy making the faces the most. So we will do it. Hey Nico, what is Arc Academy? Okay, I was already answered this kind of question. Here also how to make a good portfolio for 3D modeling artist. So I will tell you step by step how to make a good portfolio for a 3D modeling artist. Okay, modeling artist. Okay, so write it down. Now, first step, you become good at modeling, which becomes with practice and a lot of work. Then you make few nice models, guns, vehicles, stuff like this. Then you make nice renders for those models. Very nice renders with nice materials, amazing. And then you post them in ArtStation and post the link to your works in various Facebook groups, for example. And then you wait for the money to start coming. And that's it. Just a simple tutorial. But yeah, it's cool. But the main thing is get good. That's it. It's very easy. You just have to spend like a couple of years of practicing and making models and practicing and making models and practicing a lot. But it's easier to be a modeling artist than to be a sculpting artist, because sculpting requires anatomy, modeling doesn't require anatomy, and anatomy is a skill that you have to learn for much longer. At least 5 hours. You have to learn anatomy. And so it's very, very difficult to learn skill. Not 5 hours a day. I mean, 5 hours for your entire life. I think it's at least you have to learn anatomy. But you have to learn, if you want to learn it much better than 6 years old, for example, you have to spend much more than that. You have to spend much more than that. As Mr. Guerra said, 19 hours a day could be okay for in the beginning, at least. Yeah. Then probably more, but in the beginning it's okay. 19 hours. I think it's fine. Who knows? Doesn't matter. It's fine. Don't miss Blender Day. Don't miss Sculpt Day. Don't miss all day. Don't miss. That's the thing. Why did you switch to Blender? Because I am not working now in any game company. I'm only working for an educational company, which is Arc Academy in Bulgaria, which doesn't pay that much. So my only source of income are my courses. And the courses for Blender are selling much better than those for ZBrush. And also ZBrush is kind of, when they went to MaxCon or whatever it was the name of the company, I was not amazed by this. It's not Pixelogic anymore. It's not the same. And there are a couple of reasons, but the main reason is for money. If I have to be honest. Do I have to be honest, by the way? If I have to lie, I can say it's because I want to something idealistic, I can say, you know, a lot of things. But if I have to be honest, it's about money. It's about money. It's all about the money. It's all about the dum bum da da dum dum. I don't think it's funny. Da da ba da ba. It's all about the money. I want to do stuff like Jian or Gian. I have good enough hard surface skills, but I need more anatomy and sculpting. Yeah, problem. Mr. Guerra, why do you say again 19 hours per day to get good? We already saw that. 19 hours per day to get good. Okay, we know that. Yeah. Even more. How old are you? Oh, so you're asking a couple of questions. Maybe I should answer a couple of questions before you ask them. For example, what shoe number I have? What is my shoe number? Okay, it's like 46 European thing, you know. I don't think this is like almost 12 in the American scale, not sure exactly, or 11 and a half, something like this. How tall I am? Okay, I will answer that. I'm 1 meter and 90, let's say 92 centimeters, something like this. Maybe I'm more, sometimes I'm more. In the mornings, I'm 1 meter 94. Now with the back problems, I'm probably below 1 meter and 90 because I cannot straighten my back that much. But overall, when I'm okay, which is most of the time, you know, luckily, I'm 1 meter and 92. How much I weigh? Around 100 kilograms. Where do I live? I live in Bulgaria, which is a country in Europe. It's close to Ukraine. It's close to Romania. It's close to Serbia, Macedonia, Turkey, and Greece. And the capital of the country is Sofia, and I'm living in this particular capital. You know, it's not the best place to live, since the big city sometimes it's very dirty and very smelly in the winter, especially. In the summer is okay, because people are mostly in vacations and stuff like this, but in summer everybody is in the city. There are no leaves on the trees to clean the air a little bit, and people are warming themselves with coal and you know, stuff, burning stuff. So it's not very good. It's even very bad. At some days are just the worst. And respiratory diseases are very common these days in the big cities. But it's normal, I guess. It's not only in Bulgaria, it's in many countries nowadays. This guy is looking awkward, by the way, in the face. I don't know why, but I will investigate and I will tell you. Sir, my ArtStation and social media engagement are too low. How to get more engagement? So I can grab attention to the bigger companies. Of course, you have to first be good enough with your skill, which is the first thing. Second, you have to promote yourself into certain channels, Facebook channels and stuff. And probably at some point, yeah, it will happen. Although I've seen people who are pretty good, I mean, very good artists, they don't have a very big following in any of the social medias, which probably for them is fine, but usually you want to have a good following, because this way people will notice you and you will get more job offers maybe, or freelance. Although I have, let's take me for example, because it's easy. I have more than 14,000 followers in ArtStation, 14,000, which is okay. This year, I don't have a single freelance offer. This year, the 2023. Yeah, I know there are only 2 months past this year, but still, this year is very dry. That's my personal observation, we may say. Very dry year for the freelance. But I don't know, it doesn't have to be like this the whole year. Maybe it's just just a temporary thing, or people don't like my things, I don't know. But I'm okay because I don't rely on freelance at all. But what I rely on is my courses, and my courses are selling relatively well for now, so it's fine. Although my last course, since it's again a beginner Blender course and I already have one like this, it's not selling that well. But the next one with the Viking, at some point when I do it, because I haven't started it yet even, probably will do better, but we'll see. And the one after that, which will be probably some kind of a sci-fi sexy girl, which is always a good thing to make a course about sexy girls, because it's much more profitable than other types of courses. So yeah, it will be better. But I haven't even chose a concept for that one. So it's much more, we're much more ahead of ourselves here. He's interesting looking male guy. We have to be careful with the cheekbones. They shouldn't be that prominent. And I'm making him a little bit too dramatically manly, but it's easier this way. If you want to make it more realistic, it's a little bit harder. But kind of manly in a comical way, it's easy. And his head is, of course, small. So we will increase the size of the head a little bit. Just for funsies, we may say. Because I want it to be bigger. Let's see. This is better, I think. Yeah. Even now, he looks like a tall man. But before, it was just, you know, grotesque. Now it's better, I think. Maybe it's, again, grotesque a little bit, but not as much as it was. So yeah, 1 hour and we're ready. Greetings from Las Vegas. I finally get to watch you live. Yeah, in Las Vegas. What time is it in Las Vegas, by the way? It should be around, how much, 7 hours? So here it's 22 o'clock and a half almost. And in Las Vegas should be around 3 or even 12 in the noon time. Who knows? What's wrong with your back? I have problems with my lower back since I was 25, and each year, sometimes twice a year, sometimes once a year, I kind of break it. It kind of make something. When I lift something a little bit heavier, fast or something, and then 1 week I'm like a worm. I'm just crawling. And today I'm a little bit better than yesterday, but tomorrow I will be a little bit better than today, but still I cannot walk straight. I walk like a grandpa. Like this. You know. It's not good. It's not pretty. Hi Nico, I just uploaded Conan the Barbarian into the Discord server show-off. I hope you had a chance to review it during the live stream. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's see the show-off section. Ooh, it looks not bad. Let's see. I will not show it to the people. No, I will show it, of course. Okay, this is the drawing. This is the model. We cannot see too much, but overall it looks relatively fine. We have a close-up. Let's go to the ArtStation page and look at this. So these poses of the faces are not very easy to make, but I think it looks relatively fine, although it's not completely it looks a little bit unfinished. Maybe it's from the lighting, from the rendering. It looks a little bit soft. It should be, I think there should be a little bit of a, you know, when you say like this, and there are very hardcore, you know, folds in here, which you don't have, and probably you should have them. But that's one of the observations I have. The render already, although I like, because we have a nice rim light, the background is kind of cool, and everything is visible. Your anatomy is in a very good level, I would say, especially here in the torso. It's a very nice thing. The legs probably can be better, especially in this area here around the knee. It seems a little bit like chaotic. It's not quite nice anatomy. But overall, not super bad, yeah, I would say. Yeah. Ooh, let's see this. Yeah, the face again has some issues. From when we see the thumbnail, it looks very cool on the thumbnail because the render is relatively nice. But when we see it up close like this, oh, this doesn't look bad. Let me just, you know, the turntable looks cool because the pose is dynamic. But the materials are relatively bad, especially on the boots. The boots are... and there are some other things that are, you know... But overall, when you look at it like this, it looks pretty cool, I would say. So yeah, good job. Let's follow you. But as we can see, you're having a decent things. But for example, what do the people will search your work for? What for? I mean, you don't have too much low polys, you don't have too much works as per se. Your last work is relatively fine, but it's, for example, they can search for you for 3D prints, but you have still some problems with faces, especially. They're not as good as they should be, so yeah, be careful. Do you have any page to buy these models when you do live? I'm thinking about this, although I don't think that about this anymore that much, but I was thinking to make my Patreon as a place to get those models for free if you are a patron. It will not be for free, of course, because if you're a patron, you have to pay monthly some money, so it's not exactly free. But for Patreons, I could make it. I just have to, you know, do it. I haven't done it, so it's yet to be done. And also each model will require to be nice for printing or something, will require at least a couple of hours more to work on it. You will not be able to use it and to print it or something, to do something with it the way they are after just 2 hours. You know, from scratch, 2 hours of work, nobody can do something that's usable. Visually it looks relatively fine, but it needs a lot more work to get like in the level to be printable. quality. Not even to cut it for printing or something. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just to smooth the things enough to make them look nice from all angles. That kind of stuff. Which requires time. And time I have. But I also have a lot of laziness. A lot of laziness. And these days I just don't want to work. I just, you know, don't have the will to work because my back is problematic and I just, you know, don't sculpt that much. Today I decided to break this and to make this stream. That's why you're watching right now, because I broke this curse a little bit. But overall, I'm trying to rest more. And I'm watching the Bulgarian version of The Bachelor, which is the best. I mean, so much cringe, so much it makes me feel the ways I never think I will. Something like just a reality show will make me feel. I mean, it's amazing. You see people that you will never meet in the real life, you know. Very, very, very stupid people and stuff like this. It's very interesting. It's a interesting experience, I would say. And it teaches you some things about people, about women and stuff like this. The Bachelor, amazing. Do you ever miss 2D drawing? I don't miss it that much because I usually draw, especially with my little girl. We draw a lot with her, so I don't miss it quite much because I do it sometimes. I draw with her some things, and it's very cool to kind of go back to the 2D, because it's, you know, it's not all about money, you know. Sometimes it's about fun, and fun it is to draw. I like to draw. I can draw here, by the way, a little bit, why not? Yeah, I'm usually in my courses I also draw a lot, especially in the beginner stages of one model. I always draw, for example, for the rabbit, my latest course. In the beginning I drew the head of the rabbit and stuff like this. So the head of the rabbit and his cheeks like this, and then those things here like the mustaches, and then the nose, the mouth, the teeth, the eyes, eyebrows, ears, and hair, eyes, fill up the mouth, amazing, jacket, it's easy. I mean, 2D is much easier than 3D, because see how fast I can do a model or something in 2D. It's in 3D it's a little bit more time it will take, you know. In 2D it's like ultra fast. Amazing. You can see it's so easy to draw. But as some people will ask, is it mandatory for us to be able to draw before we go to 3D? It's good to know how to draw, but it's not mandatory at all. I know people that are very good sculptors without any, you know, any skill in 2D. They cannot draw at all. This guy, I think his torso is a little bit longer and his legs are a little bit, or the hands maybe can go a little bit lower, like this. Yeah, this way it's better. And let's go with a little bit on the side. Yeah, I think this is better. The legs are not the best, but since the legs are the most boring part, we don't like to do them that much. And usually when you are making some character, they will have pants and stuff like this, especially when you do some soldiers. So, and also this kind of muscular legs, I don't know, maybe Conan the Barbarian or some kind of character maybe will require this kind of super muscular legs. But other than that, yeah, legs are difficult, I would say. And they're difficult. The only reason that they're difficult is that we don't practice them that much. And that's the only problem. If we practice them enough, they will be as easy as the other parts. I'm not saying that the other parts are very easy. Like the hands and the arms, they require a lot of learning curve. They're not easy at all, in any case. But legs are more difficult to make correctly and right. That's my understanding of things, maybe. Maybe I'm wrong, who knows? Maybe. Do you find it necessary to update your tutorials as new features come out in Blender? In my case, they, especially in sculpting, new features, especially groundbreaking new features, doesn't come. At least they hasn't. Especially for a beginner tutorial, you don't need groundbreaking new features or something. You need the basics, mostly, to know the basics. And that's why I'm teaching in those courses. Of course, for the more advanced courses, I'm teaching the things that you need to make the certain model that's there. If something like new and groundbreaking came at some point, which it hasn't, maybe I will teach it in the next courses. But for the course that's already done, I already have taught people how I made this character, and it's made, and it's looking okay. So we don't need the groundbreaking new features, which we don't have. But theoretically, if we have them, maybe we can use them for another character. Who knows? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Let's do a little bit of a render. Why not? Why don't we? Why not? Light. We need one point light, which we'll put here. It will be sun at 2. Usually 2 is okay for the sun. We don't need too much. We don't need too much sun. We'll rotate it so it comes from an angle. Then we duplicate it, make it a point light. Let's say 60. Up 600, it's a little bit too much probably, but we can make it a little bit further away from the character. So like here. And we can make one in the back, which will be our rim light, which can be an area light. Why not? Area light is okay. Bigger area light, which points on our character. I'll rotate it. So we don't see anything of that, you know, as you can see. But when we go to render, it's starting to look relatively fine. Let's see now. The problem here is our Eevee render. It's okay. We need this light to dial it down or get it further away from our character probably. Let me just disable it. It doesn't do anything. Interesting enough. Probably the sunlight is a little... yeah. So the sunlight was not having... okay, contact shadow always on. And the sunlight should be a little bit more dramatic for a muscular guy like this one. The other light from the back, we can scale it even more. And to have this kind of a nice rim light. And this light from here, this fill light, let's close it up, but not too much. Just to make the shadows not so huge. And we have something. It's not the best, but it's better than nothing. Let's go and make the background not so black. And let's make this backlight a little bit more colorful. Let's make it, for example, blue. Yeah, it's a little bit more interesting this way. I find it a bit more interesting. Also what we want to do is go to the render, go down in color management and go it to standard. Yeah, standard is okay, and high contrast probably it's better. Yeah, it's better. High contrast is always better. Yeah, but his face is looking very awkward, so let's fix the face a little bit. It looks bad. The mouth looks too big, in my opinion, and it doesn't work very well. And the chin is too huge, probably. Maybe. And I have to read some comments, because people are writing. They demand answers. Nico, I've written my question 112 times this stream, but you didn't answer. Why are you like this? I was your biggest fan. Now I'm your greatest enemy. I will find you, Nico, and I will murder you with a scissors. But why? I don't know. I'm just a psychopath. I don't know what I'm doing. So don't judge me. It's okay. Nico, why are you using 64 gigabytes of RAM? Because I just... my previous computer was with 32, and I didn't want to make it with 32 again. And also, when you open Photoshop, browser, 3D Max, ZBrush, Substance Painter, and you work in all of this at the same time, sometimes you need more than 32 gigabytes of RAM. I would say most of the time. That's my answer. That's my final answer. Did I pass the test? No? Oh. Do you have any page to buy these models you do live? Already answered that. Yeah. I'm a professional rigging artist. Would be allowed to rig your previous sculpts. Of course, but I don't have low polish of most of them, so yeah, it will be difficult to rig. I'm making good character, but I don't find any job in Turkey. What can I do that? You have to search for a job outside Turkey probably, which will not be difficult with the internet these days. So try to apply in some companies. Just try to look for, look for some indie companies that might look for an artist like you, and just write to them. I mean, if you don't search, like actively search, and you are not like professional with a lot of experience and stuff like this, it will be difficult. You have to search actively, and from 100 mails, maybe one will be answered, and a couple probably will be answered, but one will be the one that you are searching for. I mean, they will answer you like, yeah, we like you, maybe we can work together, let's talk about it. Stuff like this. Where I can contact you? I would like to talk about some model requests I need. You can speak to me in private message in Discord, which I think is in the description of this video, my Discord server. If it's not, I don't know. But it should be there. It should be there. Should work. But tell me if it's working now. If the link in the description, at the bottom of the description of this video is working. The Discord link. By the way, I'm best student yours. That's debatable. There are a lot of students. For example, Mr. Gabriel Guerra can be considered one of my students too, and he's pretty good. So we cannot say exactly who is the best. I might say. It's not easy. It's not easy to say. Clearly, this guy is the best student. Please sculpt on ZBrush. No. Thank you. Thank you. Do you work in the 3D industry or just a hobby? Yeah, now it's just a hobby. I was working in the 3D industry for a long time, 15 years. Now it's just a hobby. And I'm teaching people also. Because 15 years in the industry, you have a lot of experience and you can teach people some things. For example, one of my next streams, I plan to do high poly, low poly, UVs, and baking in under 2 hours for some kind of a creature, maybe a dinosaur or something, because I have done that for the students of Arc Academy here in Bulgaria, and it was pretty good and I think pretty educational, so I thought that maybe I can do it on stream too, but we'll see. It could be done. This looks a little bit like me, by the way, this guy. That's why I don't like him that much. Yeah. Huge neck and stuff like this. But overall, yeah. It's overall cool. Perfect anatomy, amazing. What is your best-selling courses? It's difficult to say, but maybe nowadays the head course is selling very well because it's pretty good, I would say. Yeah. And also female anatomy course is selling very well, and also the course with the mouse, which is a beginner blender course. And now I was hoping that the course with the rabbit, again a beginner blender course, will sell well, but it doesn't sell that well. Probably because of the other one that I have. So yeah, we'll see. Please sculpt on ZBrush. No. Legs look a bit small and not as toned as chest and arms. Exactly, because I don't want to make them. He's just with small legs. I mean, if you look at a real guy naked, most likely you will think that his legs are small also. So usually when we make heroic characters, we make their legs a bit bigger than they should be. But in this case, I decided to make the legs smaller than they should be. So that's why they are like this. What is up with it? It doesn't look like a normal human, just to say. Yeah, it looks like an unnormal human, which is okay. Nico is the man. I'm doing his Udemy Demon Hunters course. Lobo next. Very good tutorials, very good teacher. Thank you very much. Sir, why you stopped sculpting on ZBrush? Yeah, I already answered that. I'm looking to get into weapons art. I have seen the example of my work in the Discord. Aside from vehicles, that other things could model that industry could look for. No, weapons are pretty much what people are looking for, and vehicles mostly. Also, buildings could be useful. But it depends if you like to make them. I mean, your portfolio should consist of the things that you are that you want to make, that you are liking to make, that you have pleasure of making, and you have to be good at it also. Hello, oh my god, you're so smart. Yeah, of course. What's up? I have a few of your ZBrush courses. I like your teaching style and how comprehensive they are. Why did you move to Blender? Yeah, I moved to Blender because of a lot of reasons. But money is the most, because Blender is so expensive, and I want to move to Blender because of the money. No, I already said that. Can you make a Shrek one? Always. Please give me a shout out. Giving you a shout out. it looks like a guy from the movie Prometheus. Yeah, because he's white, because he's muscular, and because he's with bald head. So probably that's why. Gracias, Nico. Thank you. Passionate, yeah. Hello, Nico Baba. Merhaba. Hello, my friend. How can I make two objects into one? You just have to join them. It's not very difficult. Please, video on female face anatomy. Yeah, I have one in my course. I made few female faces, and also in the course itself, you can find it in my ArtStation store. It's on sale right now. So I make also feedbacks on student works on female faces also. Are they only other are they other Blender training courses from other artists that you like? No, for Blender I don't. There are not too many character courses for Blender, but there are some. I just don't remember quite well. I mean, this girl from Victory 3D, she's making relatively good courses, although her workflow is pretty long, but she's making more realistic characters sometimes, although her anatomy is not in a ultra good level, but she's okay. Like, you can learn some things. Hello. Lol, have respect for Nico? No. You shouldn't have respect for Nico if you don't have respect for Nico. You know, if you have respect for Nico, you should have respect for Nico. If you don't have respect for Nico, fuck it. You don't have. It's okay. Nico, can you make a speed sculpt of a beast someday? Of course, I already done that. I mean, I made a beast and female face, a girl face, and a beast face in one stream. I think it was back in the days. Back in the days, like 2 months ago or something. But of course, I always can make beasts. Beasts are easy. Monsters or something are easy. It will be good if the legs were a little separate from each other. No, it's not, because usually in reality they are pretty close to each other, and especially in the top part with muscular legs, they are like very much connected to each other, very close to each other. They're touching. So it's normal. I'm just getting started to stylize character on ZBrush. Nico guidance in Udemy. Cool. How is it that you only need one reference to do your sculpts? Surely it's a lot harder to understand the proportions. No. In this case, I was using the reference just to watch it. It's nothing like the reference. I'm mostly, sculpting from imagination and from my previous, experience. That's why I don't need that much of a, something to watch from, reference. Greetings from Venezuela. But for beginner artists, for intermediate artists, and for me also, when I'm doing something for money or something for tutorial, usually this is just for fun. That's why I'm not using that much references. But if I'm doing something for a tutorial or something, I'm using a lot of references, because it's very important to do so. It's very important to watch a lot of things. Hello. When you sculpt anime, I have anime sculpts also in this channel. You can watch it. Greetings from Venezuela. Really, in Venezuela you are? How are the things in Venezuela? I hear they are very bad. At least a couple of years ago they were very bad. Now probably they are worst. I have been following you for 2 months and I'm grateful for your excellent work. You have motivated me a lot. Thank you very much, Venezuela guy. Angel, probably, Angel. Superhuman Anatomy course is just out of the world. Salute, sir. Thank you very much. I watched that stream live, but I meant like a full body of a beast. Full body of a beast. Yeah, someday. But, full body of a beast is a very wide, thing, because you can do a fat beast, you can do a thin beast, you can do a muscular beast, you can do a not so muscular beast, you can do something like elephant beast, you can do a beast which looks more like an insect. So there are different kind of things you can do. You can do a hairy beast, which I will not do because hair is difficult to make in 3D, and also it requires more time. So I usually do naked stuff without hair. I mean, Hola from Sweden, thank you for work and inspiration. Thank you, Hola from Sweden. Very interesting. Yeah. Compliments by Italia. Prego, prego. What's the story behind your YouTube logo? Behind my YouTube logo. I went into the internet. I write speed logo or something, or a rocket logo, and some things came out, and one of the logos was similar to mine, and I just took the idea and just changed it a little bit, changed the colors a little bit, made it not a rocket, but a rocket, which is also a pen, tablet pen, and this is my logo. It's not super original, but it's this. It's something like speed, you know, rocket, and character, and it's also a tablet pen, you know, like a rocket, tablet pen, stuff like this. Привет from North Korea. What? Привет from North Korea. I don't believe you. The North Korea embassy, by the way, in Bulgaria is right next to my building here. But literally it's like 50 meters from the building that I live in. The North Korea embassy. So I can check if you really are from North Korea. Relax. Hello from Indonesia. Hello. Do you know how I can use scatter map SSS from Systems Painter and use it in Blender? Not so much. I haven't done that. I'm doing probably something in the materials. You have to plug it in the correct slot. I'm doing sculpting and 3D modeling with my right hand. Can I advance in the industry? My left hand is 90% damaged because of unfortunate accident. Also, you're working only with one hand. Of course you can, but it will be much slower. I mean, working with both hands, it's much faster because you're using the shortcuts and everything. With one hand, it will be just slower, but it's absolutely doable. It's just will be slower. You can be good artist, good with anatomy, making good models, just a little bit slower than usual. The Russia is new North Korea. Yes, I understand the joke now, yeah. Hello, Nico. Why there is a lot of pro sculptor that starts sculpting with a very high poly? I don't know. This is their style. I've seen that. For example, Laura Ginger from Ginger, I'm not sure. Laura from Outgang. She is sculpting from much higher poly than me. I am starting always from very low and gradually upgrading to higher and higher, and even now my face is not as high as she's starting with. She's starting with higher than this. But usually most pro sculptors they don't know how to start sculpting. They don't start from scratch ever. They start from their base models that they have done long time ago, so they don't start from scratch, and they don't know how to start from scratch properly. I know, because I always start from scratch. That's why watch me, don't watch them. They don't know how to do it. They just don't. How difficult is to get into game dev now? It's pretty difficult, by the way. I would say it's pretty difficult. It's not something that you easily can do without any experience, you know. But you have to practice a lot. I mean, for Mr. Guerra, the interview with him is in my channel here. It took him like 7-8 months, starting from scratch, even sculpting with a mouse in the beginning, to get into the industry, to get a job, to get freelance or something. Yeah, so it's cool. Can you take a look at the human base mesh that I polymodeled? It's in show off. Alright, don't worry about it. This is it. Okay, it seems like the head is a little bit too big. It looks like this guy's around 1 meter and 30 centimeters, something like this. So you have to be careful about that too. But other than that, it's kind of okay. But of course, it's not very good. In order to make a good base mesh, you need to spend a lot of time. When I was doing base mesh back in the days, I was like any normal sculptor. I was making a base mesh for myself, and I spent like a couple of months each day, like few hours doing this base mesh, and at the end it was relatively good. But have I learned a lot of anatomy doing this base mesh? I'm not sure. The idea is that when you have this base mesh, then with ease you can just make a lot of characters from starting from this base mesh, and it will save you time. But in my case, I'm a teacher and I have to teach people how to do everything, so I need to hone my skills every day. And every time I start, even for freelance, even for when I was working for Gameloft, every time I was starting from a sphere for every character. And that's just me. Of course, you don't have to do this. But in order to make a good base mesh, you have to learn anatomy, which means you have to do a lot of bodies, a lot of practice. For example, as I see your skills in anatomy and proportions, you probably haven't done more than 20 or 50 models from scratch, bodies, with references and trying to understand the forms and everything. So you need way more than 50, for example. So yeah, Laura Gallagher isn't that good, at least compared to you. Probably anatomy wise, maybe, but she's a very good character artist. When we say she knows a lot of softwares, and she knows Marvelous Designer and other stuff. Technically, she's very good artist. If, for example, there is a task to make realistic human with very realistic folds and clothes and everything, probably she will do a better job than me. For stylist stuff, most likely I will beat her just without any question. But that's about what anyone wants to do and what we have practiced doing. Nico, do you ever build a PC? Since I have had my first PC, I always build my own PCs with parts. I buy parts. I don't buy PCs. I buy processor. I buy the cooler for the processor. I buy the video card. I buy RAM. I buy the motherboard. I search for everything particular. I assemble it myself always. I don't allow anybody to touch my PC and my parts inside, It's just me. I'm assembling it myself. Which add-on do you suggest to do good retopology? Usually when I do retopology by hand, I don't use add-ons. I do it just with the tools of Blender. But, for example, in one of the next streams, I will do high poly from scratch, then low poly, then UVs, and then baking in Substance Painter in just 2 hours, and then I will use quad remesher, yes, this add-on, which is paid, by the way. I think there is a recent version, not recent, but older version of this add-on in GitHub, which is free, but I'm not sure. People say that there is. Yeah. When you decide to start rocking the unibrow, it gives you character for sure. Yeah, exactly. I was like few years ago, maybe like 10 years ago, I started to shave the middle of it. I started not to shave it, to just take the hairs with the pincers or whatever. And I was looking more ordinary, more normal. But now I decided that I want to look like this guy, the Indian guy that's doing the electric shocks, That's always, the electric guy. He has unibrow. And I decided that he's looking pretty unique. It's his look. and I can look like this also, because I have this genetically, so it's my look. Yeah. Yeah. Never give up, always be positive and keep trying. That's a good advice, by the way. Laura is pretty good, I think. Exactly. I think she's pretty good too, but probably she doesn't have too much practice starting from a sphere. And she's trying to do that in her channel sometimes, and it doesn't work that way. You have to have a lot of practice in this particular thing. For example, if I have to do in my streams something in Marvelous Designer, which I don't have practice in, it will be a disaster pretty much. For her, it will be easy because she has a lot of experience there. That's why the skills are different, you know. And probably in anatomy, she may be not as good as me, because I have courses, I have practiced a lot for these courses for anatomy, and I have bumped up my level in order to be able to teach people anatomy. That's why, most likely, I will be better and faster in anatomy than her, but doesn't mean that she's a worse character artist than me. Because, as I said, most of the time character artists start from base meshes, and even if you buy the base mesh, you buy a scan, or you buy a very, very good base mesh that somebody is selling, and you buy it, and now it's yours, and you can use it. And if you do the clothes, if you do the props, if you do the pose, materials, and nice render, nobody will blame you that you have started from, because you have changed the face features and some other things, but overall it's your thing after all. You are some sort of Blender powerhouse. No, I'm not. I'm just a very good Blender sculptor, mostly. The other things in Blender, like for example animation, rigging, materials, I'm not as good with them. So I'm not a Blender powerhouse, definitely. I'm good in one thing in Blender, mostly. Modeling, of course, it's easy, but sculpting is what I'm mostly passionate about, and I'm mostly doing that. Hi Nico, I'm appreciating your courses, easy to watch and learn. Yep, I'm trying to make them easy. I'm trying to make them fun. I'm trying to always talk, never stop talking, and never be boring, although it's difficult because when you're working at something, at some point, I'm getting tired and I'm starting to speak a little bit more monotonous. And but hopefully you don't fall asleep, so it's fine. First you said that you always sculpt from sphere, then you said you don't use plugins for retopo. Isn't this counterproductive? Probably yes, but since I don't retopo that much, these days especially, when I was retopoing in for Gameloft, for the models, using plugins or don't using plugins for the models that I had to do, it doesn't matter. You have to put every polygon in the exactly right place in order to look good. So you have to do it manually. Anyway, you cannot use whatever fancy schmancy plugins or add-ons. It doesn't work. So yeah, that's why. And starting from scratch, you know, the difference between starting from scratch and using already made model, for me, as you can see, is 2 hours. So why don't I just spend these 2 hours and just have fun making something from scratch? Because for me, making especially the head, but also the body, everything to appear from scratch, for me, is the most fun thing ever. That's why I'm doing it always. I don't start from a already ready model. There are 2 reasons. First is that will teach me nothing. And the second reason is that I will not have the fun to make it from scratch. And there is one more reason, which is very important, by the way. When you're doing a stylized character, which is a specific character, if you start from already ready model mesh, you will probably, I am having more difficulties making it look like the concept from a ready model than from scratch. From scratch is much more easy for me. From scratch to make the from the start to make it look like the concept, it's much more easy than to get an already ready body, for example, and start to stretching it to make it look like fat or thick or small or whatever. For me, easier is to start from scratch, and I have good results with that. But this is for me. Nico, do you think to break into the industry with stylized characters is easier? It depends. If you like to make stylized characters and you're good at it, probably it will be easier for you. And also stylized characters will be more in demand, I think, than the realistic ones at some point because of the scans and stuff like this. Although if you can make very good realistic characters with very good anatomy, you will always find a job, probably. Nico, do you think? No. Aren't in the end being a teacher more profitable when you become pro in something? It depends. It depends. If you have a marketing way of promoting your courses, like I have YouTube channels or Instagram with a lot of followers, probably it will be beneficial for you to become a teacher. Other than that, otherwise, even if you're a professional, but if you don't have the social channels to promote yourself, you probably will not be very successful. That's the problem. Yeah. Are you gay? Yes, of course. I'm ultra gay. I'm the gayest guy ever. You know. Nico, can you do a donut tutorial in Blender? Probably someday. Bro, you're slow. Yeah, of course. I'm slow and gay. I'm a slow gay. Yeah, that's what I am. Definitely. Bro, you're slow and you're a gay. So you're saying that gays are slow or what? Are you insulting us that we're slow? We gays are slow? I think you're a troll. You're some kind of troll, probably. Yeah. Have you seen Jan Sculpt Blender Sculpting YouTube channel? Yes, I've seen him. He's pretty good. I really like your preparation. Thanks, I have a lot to learn from you. Yeah, thank you. But there are plugins for speeding up manual retopo while still being retopo. Maybe, but I haven't tried them, so I don't know. Probably I should, but I'm not doing that much retopo work, as I said. When I have freelance, for example, most of the time I do the high poly, I do the poly painting, and then I give other people who are better in low poly than me. Not that I'm bad. I have done so many low polys for games, so I know what I'm doing, but I just don't like to do it. It's not as creative job as making the high poly, in my opinion. We will launch a course of faces with different degrees of stylization. I'm very interested in a course to learn different ways of stylization. It's difficult because different ways of stylization is very wide subject. I mean, for example, I will do a couple of ways of stylization, and then people will say, but you forget to do this stylization, for example. It's not very, easy. Is there a difference between sculpting via sculpting for rigging? No. I mean, this character, I've sculpted it, right? Now, it can be made for rigging by making a low poly of it. And I will not sculpt it differently if I have to sculpt it for 3D printing, for example. The same way of sculpting. After a sculpt, you should retopologize the mesh so it deforms properly, and this is different per character. Yeah, exactly. Nico, do you pay more attention to your students than my teachers at university? Thanks. Yeah, because my students are very small amount, we may say. In Arc Academy, for example, I have like 15, 16 people in my class, and from that amount of people, present in each lecture are about 6 people or 5, something like this. So I can kind of pay attention to each one a lot, if they need to. Is your channel monetized? No. Can we make decent income sculpting on YouTube? I don't think you can make income from YouTube unless you have more than at least 150,000 subscribers, at least. And I have yet to reach even half of that. So yeah, it's difficult. So I don't monetize my videos because it's useless. I mean, yeah. Hi Nikolai, I've started to look forward to these streams. Thank you so much for the free lessons. Are you doing any portfolio reviews today? Not today. Because today already we have passed exactly 2 hours right now. Just 7 seconds ago. And we have to finish this. But maybe some of the next days, if I do something, probably I will do reviews. Although, if I do a stream with high poly, low poly, UVs, and baking in Substance Painter, probably we will not have time to make reviews, but in some more like casual stream, probably we will do it. What do you love most to sculpt? Mostly monsters and muscular men. That's... yeah. Is there a point to sculpt a character if you're not going to bake it to the low poly? Yes. For 3D printing. You know, just to have it in your hands. Sculpt it and then 3D print it. Pose it, 3D print it, and it's cool. I've seen meme image of someone saying that anime girls are drone sculpted from cat photos. I don't know. Do you like men with big hot dogs? With big hot dogs? Yeah, of course. Those who are selling hot dogs on the street, you mean? Yeah, of course. If the hot dog is nice, tasty, why not? Yeah, cool. Hello from Germany. Hello. You have to be worried. I want to start a channel. Beware, I'm very good at sculpting, anatomy, and everything. And I'm fast. Okay, I'm now worried. Thank you very much for that. I will not be able to sleep tonight. And thank you also for this. Hi Nico, could you explain the concept of skin wrap modifier? I think I have explained it in some of my courses. And it's pretty simple. So, yeah. It's buggy sometimes, though. Yeah. Thank you, Matthias, for 450 ARS. ARS, I don't know what is this. Nico, did you know Brazil has the best hot dogs on earth? No, I didn't know that. I thought that in United States they have the best hot dogs, but who knows. Thank you, Matthias, from Argentina. So those are Argentinian... are they pesos? Argentinian pesos? But what is ARS? Argentinian? It's not pesos. Or is it? By the way, when I was in Buenos Aires, and they told us that if we want to change dollars, it will be best to change $100 bills, new ones, and they change for the best rate. And you have to go to the center of Buenos Aires, you have to walk to this street, and there are cambios everywhere. I mean, people. Cambios are the people who say cambio, 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 and they say it very, very quickly. Yeah, I cannot say it that quickly because they say it all the time. So they say cambio, cambio, cambio. Cambio is a change in Spanish, probably. Yeah, cambio. So they cambio, cambio, cambio. You can change. I go. What's your rate? For example, when I was there, it was around $10, 10 pesos, Argentinian pesos, for $1. When I was there. Now obviously it's much more. So it's a big inflation, by the way, yeah. So now it's around 200 pesos a dollar. Wow. When I was there, it was 10 pesos a dollar, and it was a good deal to get like 12 pesos a dollar. So I went there and I exchanged to one street a little bit on the side. They took us. And I said, now probably they will kill us. But they didn't. They just, we exchanged the money. And it was a good exchange, by the way. Yeah. It's OK pesos. Yeah, pesos, yeah. Nico, I'll send it on the Discord server. Some of the photos of Brazilian hot dogs. People can try to model it also. Yeah, of course. Just kidding, you are my inspiration. Oh, I will sleep better if I know that you will not make a YouTube channel and you are faster than me and you will make better models than me. It will kill me, you know, because, you know, competition. I don't like competition. Everybody have to be slower than me. Everybody has to be worse in anatomy than me. Otherwise, I have to get better, you know. I have to practice and get better to get better than them, you know, and faster. Is it hard for you to get around with no legs? It's pretty hard because I don't have, you know, below this point here, I don't have a body. I have just this hands and face and shoulders. That's it. So it's difficult for me to, but still, since I don't have lower portion of the body, I walk on my hands, on my arms. And it's easy because I don't have the weight of the whole torso, the lower torso and the legs. I don't have that weight. So it's very easy for me to walk around with my arms only. It's very easy. Have you considered making anatomy course for sculpting fat people? Yeah, I have to do that because otherwise it will be considered that I have something against fat people. But still, have you seen this guy? He's not very thin, and I have made a course about him, and he's also in the game right now. So this is a complete course for a game character, and it's also free in my YouTube channel. The other one, this is SpeedChar Live. The other one is just SpeedChar, so you can find it when you go to playlists. And this is the only playlist with 38 videos of making this character from scratch. Nico, please sculpt Kim Jong-un. Probably they will kill me because I told you, North Korea is very close by. The embassy of North Korea in Sofia is ultra close by. So I think that they will find me very easy. They have ways, I think. So I prefer not to do so. I think you should put an IBAN where to collect some donations for your lessons. No, you just have to, you know, it's very easy. You go to my art station and you buy the lesson. It's that easy. And the donation is ready. You have the lesson, you have the course, but you also have donated money to Nico. Just buy from our station. It's easy. And now they are on sale today. Nico, how do you avoid getting carpal tunnel when sculpting for so many years? I don't know. It's probably genetics a little bit and something. I don't know. Yeah, some people get it. Some people don't get it. I'm probably the lucky one. I don't know. Do you have a 3D printer or do you get third-party service to do it? So until now, all my prints are from third-party. But recently I bought a 3D printer. Although I didn't get it at my home. I bought it and I just gave it to one guy. And now he's printing for me. He still haven't printed anything on my printer because it was cold these days. And he keep it in a basement. And in the basement was cold. And the printer obviously cannot work if the photopolymer is colder than certain degrees. And it was cold. So now I think this week, the next week, he can start printing some things. We'll see. Where is the troll guy, Sloop? Why didn't he say anything? He just said that he has the best hot dogs and he just disappeared. Probably it's not interesting for him anymore. I'm sad. I'm sad. Ah, he's here. Why are you wearing earrings? Very good question. Thank you very much for this question. Okay, guys. So, we have to finish this video and I will meet you in the next one. Or not. We'll see. Yeah, long story with the printer. Yeah. Are you famous around your town? No, not at all. I'm more famous in India than in Bulgaria. No, I love you too, man, but you know, that's because I'm gay. So, probably if you love me, you're gay too? Yes. We'll get together someday. Okay. Bye, guys, and see you.